Hey tubers, welcome back for an adventure. I was looking at the Yamaha Warrior and I couldn't remember if I had any Yamahas in the Hoard. So then I decided to take a quick walk around and I discovered I have quite a few. So in hopes of me remembering and showing you guys that I don't discriminate against Yamahas, I figured I'd make a quick video showing you my hoard of Yamaha machines. It turns out there are quite a few. What you're looking at is a YTM 200, I think known as a Tri-Moto 200. This one here, super low compression. I've had it for, got at least 5 years. It's kind of abandoned back here. It does start, run, and it actually even used to move before I stole the back tires off of it. It's just completely worn out, and here it sits. There are some things I need to continue to steal off of it, so it is handy from that point of view. Here is a Yamaha Timberwolf 250, I believe it is. I actually got this thing running. I swapped the carburetor onto it, got it running, and didn't do too much more with it. I think it was to the point where I had to kind of rig up the gas tank, and something else caught my attention. You guys know my attention span is a little shorter than a gnat's, and so here it sits. This one needs to get back into the garage. I have to revive this. Here you're looking at a Yamaha Razz scooter. This isn't actually mine. It belongs to my son. It was kind of a high school thing for him, and he and his buddies experimented with the motor. I actually have the key for it. He has the paperwork. It really should be brought back to life. The motor is just shot. It really needs the motor redone. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. I really should do something. What's handy about this thing is it's only 50 cc's, and here in New York, though you have to register it and insure it, you don't have to get through inspection with it. So it is handy from that point of view. I live within a few miles of country road of a grocery store, so this could be a really handy grocery getter, right? You just sit your tail right there, put the groceries on the back, and away you go. Yeah, actually the entire distance between me and the grocery store, the speed limit's only 30. So a couple of miles, it would do that easily. So that's number two. Kind of a little hard to see this. This is a Kodiak. I bought this a little while ago. I don't know. Actually, maybe it's only a little over a year ago, thinking back. Turns out I bought it from a guy who bought it from a guy whose kids got to this, and they damaged the transmission. My understanding is it was stuck in a low range, low gear, low something, and they just drove it until the engine exploded. I mean, literally, they destroyed it. So he had bought a bunch of parts to fix it. So this thing threw a rod. So he bought, a new piston and jug and all that stuff for it. And I guess later on, he was kind of told that it was the transmission that started all this evil, right? So that's kind of why they ran the living heck out of it and blew up the motor. It also had been run low on oil. So when he heard those two things, he says, you know what, this thing really needs a motor. It doesn't need just a rebuild. And he sold it to me. In the meantime, I managed to get a deal on a motor, but I never did anything with this, which is my bad, obviously. I gotta wake up and get moving. This is the second Kodiak in the Hoard. I got this from Kevin Bergeron, and he gave this to me. It was actually very nice of him. And he got it from somebody who unfortunately gave it to him to get rebuilt, and the guy passed on. His wife didn't want it, who passed on, and Kevin decided he didn't want to go through the whole rebuild with it, so he gave it to me more or less as it is. You can see it's wide open. So I have that blown up engine, and then I have this that one came with a load of parts, as I mentioned, and then I have this one that wasn't blown up, but it was tired. And I don't know, can we see the rings on here? A lot of times, actually the rings feel pretty good. There's still a lot of rings left. So anyway, I'm hoping to take two engines and put it together to get one, and then I told you guys that I bought an engine. So hopefully the bought engine ends up over there, or quite honestly over here, and the other one gets rebuilt and ends up on the one that the bought engine doesn't end up on. The if you guys are familiar with these, particularly working on four-wheel drives, you know it's a lot of work to get the engine out. You got to completely do the exhaust system. A lot of times there's a quasi transfer case, double differential, whatever you want to call it. This one doesn't look too bad. Anyway, it's a lot of work to take them apart. So you need a lot of space, and you need time, and you need patience to work on it. So hopefully I'll collect up all those things and do something with this guy. Only one Yamaha left. So here is the last Yamaha of the Hoard. You guys can see it's a Grizzly 600. I got this from a buddy of mine in Pennsylvania, country gentleman. I actually bought this one. I went to his house to get it started for him, and you know, I brought my portable CDI box, and it turns out that the pulse generator was open circuit, which I thought was strange, because the story he got to what happened to it is supposedly a set of grandchildren were out riding it, and they rolled it on its side in a ditch, and they, you know, it got righted, and once it was on its four wheels, it just wouldn't start. So he got it and, you know, called me, and I went to I figured I'd just put a portable CDI box on it and get it running, and we would be done. But then the pulse generator was no good. So he said, why don't you take it home and fix it? And I did. But this is one heavy all-terrain vehicle, this Grizzly. I mean, it's got to go 600 pounds, all of that. So managed to get it into the truck, and managed to get it home. But quite honestly, I was nervous about getting it back on the truck and getting it out to him successfully. So I said, you know, why don't I buy it from you? And I did pay real money for it, but he let me pay for it with installments. So I made the second installment, which makes it mine. So I really should just shut up and fix it. It shouldn't be that big a deal. That shift lever thing right there, I just got to get that out of the way, get the recoil off, and I think the next cover beneath the recoil, you can see kind of some wires going off from it. I think that's right where I'll find the pulse generator. So this is another one of, you know, I'm bad because I should just shut up, change the pulse generator, and get this thing running. If anybody's familiar with the Grizzly 600, this thing is a no fooling around machine. One could put a plow on it and actually do some plowing. So the only bad thing about it is it does not move. You gotta winch it up on a trailer and drag it about. When I was trying to move it to here, I unloaded it over on this hill here, and I was trying to drag it over, and as I was going by the Corolla, I don't know if you guys remember this, right? It literally rolled onto the Corolla. Boy, that one didn't make the wife too happy. But these things happen, you know, for people who sit on a couch all day. They never dent a car, but they never get an all-terrain vehicle started, so such is their lives, not ours. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this video. My little comment about the couch, didn't say that to insult anybody, so please don't get insulted. I'm just saying, if you go out there, if you cook, you got to break some eggs. That's all I'm saying. For even the best of us, you go out to work on stuff, and every once in a while you mess things up. So, you know, I was looking for that. Good show. All right. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.